one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. Just gotta mean something to you. They gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
That's another root of human struggle, worrying about other people's perceptions about who you are. Like, why would you ever care about that, you know? And I think that I fell victim to that in my past, of worrying about things that I can't control. You know, if the people understood what words could do to a human being, especially where we are in today's society, then they wouldn't be invested in that.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Do. Welcome back. What am I thinking of? Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? That's what I was thinking of. That tune was in my head. I don't know why. Anyways, welcome back. I just did like a flex as I was saying that. Welcome back to the show, man. It's gaining season or bulking season, whichever one you want to call it for me. It's that time of the year where I put on a lot of extra weight in a good way. You know what's crazy? Being a fighter, for the majority of my life, being I wish I knew a better way to say that. Some people think fighter and they think crazy shit, but being an organized fighter, I guess you would say, even though I done been in fights that's not organized, but being involved, God almighty, my elbow is in some type of pain. But listen, I saw some dude with varicose veins the other day. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. That's the ADHD acting up. Anyways, I done come to the realization after losing weight, gaining weight, doing that whole bid my whole life. I done come to the realization, well, I've been realized this. It is so much harder for me to gain weight than lose the weight. And I know for a lot of people, it's easier to gain the weight than lose the weight. It's hard to lose the weight. It's easy for me to lose the weight. I'm very disciplined when I have to lose the weight. It's the gaining of the weight that's my problem. Because I don't like eating a whole bunch. And when you gaining weight, you gotta up your protein intake, the calorie intake. People who gain weight, they know what I'm talking about. You gotta up that. So it's a lot of chicken, a lot of beef, a lot of brown rice. You know what I'm saying? I got a thing of brown rice sitting in the kitchen right now that's been sitting in there for like 2 weeks because I didn't feel like I'm just sick of brown rice. But yeah, It's just way easier for me. And I done talked to other fighters who fight for a living, who they might not be professionals, but they trying to be professional one day. And a lot of them think that the hardest thing to do is to lose the weight, not to gain it. And that's just so crazy to me. Maybe that's why they're going to be professionals one day and I'm not. I could be, if I stuck with it. I just disrespected myself so bad. But listen, I hope everybody out there's having a great day, a great afternoon, a great night. I had to think for a second and pause to get afternoon out before night. You know what I'm saying? Whichever point in time you listen to this, listen to me. We got so much to talk about today. The channel is so I'm working with somebody who trying to help me develop. She basically wanted me to do segments on the show. She was like, you know, one of the ways you could get your show to a next level, because it's incremental growth for us. She's like, one of the ways that you can get it better is having segments throughout the shows. And I've been told that before, and I thought I was going to start that by now. But it's just, you know, thinking about having a segment when you just talk about all types of shit, it's kind of difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did start writing down all the topics that I wanted to cover throughout an episode. I started doing that like last year. And that did help a lot. That do help a lot. It don't help when you, one of the things that she told me to do is when you talking about a subject, write it down as you talking about it, because sometimes it gets so complex that you might forget what you're talking about. And I was like, that make a lot of sense. I'm not going to do that, but make a lot of sense. Look at me. Look at me. Not doing what I should be doing. But what do they call it? Somebody give you help and you say, I'm good. That's not really what this is. It just too, I mean, cause think about it. One day when the show get as big as I want it to be, I'm not going to be able to sit down and be writing while I'm doing the show. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be multiple people watching. It's going to be other people on the show with me. So I ain't going to be worried about forgetting what I'm talking about. One of the motherfuckers in the room going to know what we talking about. But listen, we got some things to cover today. Couple things to cover. This is like one of the episodes where we just cover a multitude of things. This is not just a specifically based episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we talking about the Ravens today. Oh, we talking about Lamar today. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's not just that. But I do want to say something real quick. You know, I done had a lot of, not necessarily beef because he don't know me, but, and I wouldn't even call it that if I knew him or if he knew me. I just haven't particularly liked or enjoyed the way Shannon Sharp talk. But, you know, I done listened to him a lot the last couple weeks. I'm starting to change my mind on him a little bit. It's just some things I just can't listen to him talk about. But for the most part, maybe he alright. I still think of some shit that he be saying and some things that he say. And I'm just chalking it up to that old school type of mindset that he is. Because this clearly is a very old school country type of motherfucker. And I understand those type of people because I got people like that in my life that I done dealt with. And I just know their way of thinking will not change on certain things. It's been ingrained in them like a tattoo. And this ain't no laser removal, my boy. It's there. So, I mean, I was talking to him. I'm going to tell y'all something that's crazy. I'm not even going to tell y'all who it was because I don't want to out him like that. But I was talking to somebody and he got an earring, right? And I don't have no earrings. I don't have earrings and no ear. I don't have piercings and nothing. I got tattoos, but I don't have a piercing. And I told him, I was like, yo, I'm thinking about getting an earring, like a Michael Jordan hoop type of earring or like a hoop with a cross hanging down. I was like, I kind of like that little aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I kind of feel like I'm moving into that type of way of thing, which is crazy because coming out of high school, I was finna go get a piercing on my eye, over my eye, like an eyebrow piercing. And then I'm glad I got out of that phase where I wanted that because, boy. But nonetheless, as I was telling him that I was thinking about getting, because for the longest time, the reason I never went and got a piercing, because I'm like, bro, I just want females to be able to do shit that females want to do. I don't understand why men always want to do the shit that females do. Like, that's weird to me. But I guess I done seen enough I done seen dudes rock the earring enough now to where I don't think that that's just a straight up feminine thing. It's funny, though. If you think that it's feminine, I do not blame you. OK, I'm not one of them people who think to themselves just because I'm now OK with it, that you should not still feel the way I felt about it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, let's say somebody I know come up to me and be like, Saint, you got an earring? I don't know, bro. That's kind of feminine. I'm going to look at them and say, I agree with you. Because I felt the same way just a couple weeks ago, so I ain't even mad at you how you feel, my boy. I ain't gay, but I understand how you feel. That's what I would probably say to him. I wouldn't even get mad. It's very hard to make. It ain't very hard, but it's kind of difficult for a stranger that's talking to me. Well, I mean, not a stranger, because it would be a homie. It's kind of hard for the homies to piss me off, because we homies for a reason. I do got this one homie who, oh my God, but me and him on phenomenal terms right now. Like, it's not me. It's he done matured to the point now. And I'm not trying to put it on him, but he was definitely childish as hell. I mean, one of the reasons I'm the type of person I am today is because of understanding how childish he was while we was growing up. Like, cause I'm like, and it's crazy because I never met this dude till high school. I done met a whole bunch of homies in high school, but I had not met this dude till high school. And for this dude to be as childish as he was, I was just like, man, this is crazy how childish this motherfucker is, man. Some of his tics and the things that got him mad, and I'm like, God almighty, bro. I didn't even know if I wanted to be cool with this dude because of how ridiculous some of his ways were. But I'm glad to see he done matured now. I'm glad to see he done got to another point in life where he, you know, we can be around each other without me wanting to beat his ass all the time. Or without him. Bro, I got this one homie who used to always want to fight me. Every time, son, I'm glad I just thought about this. Yo, we're going to get to the episode in a second. I was at a Super Bowl party the year that the Chiefs beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Not last year, but the first time they beat them in the Super Bowl. I was at a Super Bowl party, right? And one of my cousins, and this cousin in jail now, so it don't matter, but I think he's still in jail. He might be out by now. Who knows, bro? But anyways, this dude, bro. So he was talking trash to me. This is why I don't go to Super Bowl parties, by the way, because I'm sitting down trying to actually watch this game, and I'm into the game, and other motherfuckers is just into me, and I don't understand that. Like, he wanted to bother me the entire Super Bowl. Like, before we knew how great Pat Mahomes was, right? The only time that I picked against Pat Mahomes, one of the times that I picked against Pat Mahomes, but didn't realize how great he was. So that's the only reason I picked against him, was in that first Super Bowl. Because like most people, the 49ers had you fooled, like they did this year, like they be doing every other year. The 49ers had a lot of motherfuckers fooled, thinking like, damn, Kyle Shanahan might really be able to win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. However, halfway through that Super Bowl, I said, nah, I'm not going for the Chiefs. I mean, I don't think the 49ers going to win this game. I think the Chiefs going to win it. Because the 49ers, the Chiefs defense was having a great game. Pat Mahomes was struggling. But I don't know what it was. I was just watching the game thinking to myself, man, Pat going to figure this shit out. That's one of the first times I watched Pat and was like, man, Pat going to figure this out. Like, he just gave me this feeling like he going to figure this shit out. And I remember my cousin, who was, he picked Pat from the beginning. Even though he didn't really want to go. He thought the reason I didn't choose Pat off rip was because Pat was married to a white woman. Bro, I could give two fucks about who a man is married to. Or who a person is married to, bro. That ain't my business. If it's something crazy, I might speak on it. But outside of that, that's not my business. That's not going to make me not pick somebody, bro. Unless his wife had came out and been like she hate black people or something crazy. That I don't care about who Pat Mahomes is married to, bro. I told y'all before, people be worried about Pat Mahomes' his brother, his now people talk about his dad, and his wife, bro. I don't know what it is, bro. It feel like the media is setting up for y'all to hate Pat Mahomes for some reason. Like, cause then you add the element of Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce this year, which I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I just think personally, if they really is a relationship and whatnot, I mean, I think that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get to date Taylor Swift, bro. I don't find Taylor Swift attractive, even though she could have got fucked on Super Bowl night. But outside of that, I don't find Taylor Swift. I might have found her attractive in some of her music videos. I don't know quite. I'm not quite sure yet. I would have to go back and watch some of them videos. I was driving today. I don't listen to the radio, but I was in somebody's car who don't have an aux, who don't have, like, they just have a regular radio. And I Knew You Were Trouble came. Not I Knew You Were Trouble. Shake It Off came on. And I started singing along. Because that's a bop. I'm not going to lie to you. That song, So It's Gonna Be Forever. Oh, it's got blank space. Taylor Swift fuckable in that. I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting Taylor Swift, but it's a lot of dudes out there who done said they want to fuck Taylor Swift. So me counting on being able to count on my hands how many times I didn't actually said it, I don't care. Listen, all I'm saying is I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, if I was an NFL player or professional athlete and I was dating Taylor Swift, bro, that's pretty lit. Imagine they actually stay together for a long time. They get married, have kids, yada, yada, yada. I am okay, so call me crazy. Y'all know how I tell y'all I don't understand this obsession that people got with celebrities' lives and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I like this defending people's honor and shit. Like, I don't understand that. But you know what I am? What would intrigue? Well, I don't know if it would intrigue. I would pay attention to it for like a day or two. But you want to know what could happen that I would be very interested? Who gets Taylor Swift pregnant? Now, this ain't TMZ or nothing like that, but I just randomly thought about that. Could you imagine if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce had kids, bro? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of wish Taylor Swift was with Pat Mahomes because that would make more sense. I mean, Pat's greatness, Taylor's greatness. Boom, you put them together. That's just probably too much greatness in one pot. No shade to Pat's wife, Brittany, but she ain't Taylor Swift. But, you know. Now, I will say this. And I'm not going to say this about Pat Mahomes' wife. I'm not. That's a grown man's wife. I'm not finna. I mean, people do it to Beyonce all the day, so she ain't special. So, not Beyonce. His wife, Brittany, ain't special. So I will say it. I ain't never seen not one clip of Pat Mahomes' wife where I said to myself, you know what? I fuck her. And bro, if you're a woman listening to this, calm down. Men do this all the time. We look at somebody and we think to ourselves, would I fuck her? I mean, women do it all the time too. So, you know what I'm saying? But listen. I ain't never looked at Pat Mahomes' wife and said to myself, "Boy, I'll fuck her socks off tonight." I haven't done it. Taylor Swift on Super Bowl night though. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. One of my biggest turnoffs is red fingernail polish. Now I know some people might be like, "Yo, what the hell?" But listen, I'm just not a fan of red fingernail polish. I done said this before. That's like one of the biggest turnoffs to me is if a woman, especially if you light skin, wearing dark fingernail polishes, bro. That's weird to me. But like a burgundy, red, candy red, apple, whatever kind of red you want to do. I don't like red fingernail polish, bro. Now, if you do something like super light red, that's basically almost like a pinkish, I'm cool with that. I don't like red fingernail polish. I don't like purple fingernail polish. I don't like the regular blue fingernail polish, but a baby blue, you know, UNC blue, even a navy blue, I'm cool with, but it's got to be like a matte. Motherfuckers like, he talking about matte. Bro, I done been with a lot of women who get their nails done, bro, so I just understand the nail game to an extent, bro. I'm very familiar with walking into a nail salon and seeing all the fingernail polishes on the wall and standing there with my girl for multiple minutes waiting for her to pick a fucking color and me saying, what's the difference between this one and this one? Well, this one is matte and this one is not. I'm like, okay, bro. Matte is hard though. I ain't gonna lie. And it's a whole bunch of other ones out there. But the matte one is the one that one of my exes used to, well, a lot of the girls who I dated used to do a lot of matte, but one of them is specific. Every time I took her to get her nails done, she, chose matte. Every time. And it came out hard. I'm not gonna lie, cuz it came out hard every time. But listen, the story, getting back off of Taylor Swift, and I just think it's pretty cool about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. The only time I thought it was annoying, have I thought it was annoying? It's only annoying if it's like a serious part of the game and they pan up to Taylor Swift or something, bro. The reason, you know why I probably never had a problem with it too much, bro? Because your focus really shouldn't be on that. And I understand. Now, the NFL, the announcers, and that was to me the problem. When the people in the booth, the commentators won't stop talking about Taylor Swift the whole fucking game, that's on them. And they might say, oh, well, you know, our studio told us we needed to talk about Taylor Swift. Bro, don't care. That's what that's what can irritate you. Them panning to Taylor Swift don't really bother me. But I mean, I'm a Laker fan, bro. I'm so used to the camera people panning to celebrities in the crowd, bro. Like, I could care less about that. But anyways, I had switched my pick to Pat Mahomes, even though my cousin originally didn't think that I was going to pick Pat Mahomes because he was married to a white woman. And he kept saying, oh, you don't like white women. You don't like white. Eventually, I mean, this dude was just bothering me the entire other thing. By the end of it, he wanted to fight me. And every time I saw him after that, he kept wanting to, bro, let's fight. Bro, let's fight. And I want y'all to understand, my cousin is damn near 300 pounds. And at one point in time, the motherfucker walked around like the Incredible Hulk. Like, that's how juiced up and jacked he was. And he still basically got that frame. Now, he's shorter than me, but he still got like a, because I'm sitting at 200 right now. I done lost a lot of weight. I'm sitting at 200, probably 210. I'm not getting above 230, 240. I'm not going above 240. I don't even know if I'm interested in getting it to 240 anymore. Like, I might sit around that 224 range from here on out, or 200 to 224 range is what I mean. 215 to 220. That range is where I want to sit at when I get bulked back up. This dude sit at like 260, 270, 280. I know people like, bro, that's a big gap. Them 10 number differences. Bro, you got to understand, this is a huge individual. Pause. And the reason he wanted to fight me is because I wrestled with his brother, who was in the Marines, who me and him just be play wrestling. And me and him actually cool. I won a play wrestling thing with his brother. And so somebody told him about it. And he looked me right in my face and said, because I heard you beat up my brother, so now I want to beat you up. For one, I said, you're not going to beat me up. That's first thing. You might win because you just simply bigger than me. And I don't know who told y'all that size in a fight don't matter. Size in a fight do matter. Even if you fighting somebody who is unexperienced at fighting, depending on how much bigger they are than you, it don't take much for them to be able to catch you if they can throw one clean punch, which most individuals, I don't know, bro. I done seen some grown men throw some terrible punches, but you want to know what's crazy? I done seen a dude who could punch that, what's that shit that you punch it and it measure how strong the punch is? I done seen somebody throw a beautiful punch on that and throw trash can punches when they actually in a legitimate fight. It was so crazy. I remember that video of that woman hitting that shit. That shit still be ringing in my head something. But she had such nice form. And I was thinking to myself, bro, if she caught somebody with an overhand right, she would sleep them. Especially if they didn't see that shit coming. See, that's the problem with sucker punches. Because if she was to sucker punch somebody, because I'm almost certain that if she was with a dude, unless she just like, because she probably a boxer or something, like, she gotta be I know she a trained fighter. Imagine he didn't know that. Imagine she no longer a trained fighter, like she a year removed from it. Her new boyfriend never knew it. And her new boyfriend kind of stupid, kind of get abusive at times with his girls. And he tried to do something to her and she just wail off on her one time. Bro, she gonna sleep this motherfucker, bro. It was so crazy. But listen, back to the NFL, back to the Chiefs, bro. Taylor Swift could have got fucked on Super Bowl night, bro. I don't know why I brought that back up, but I just felt like saying it again. But anyways, back to the Kansas City Chiefs. We talk about the Chiefs because we are going to eventually get to Eric Bieniemy at some point in time. But you know what? Scratch everything we were starting out talking about, because I actually want to get into this episode a little bit earlier tonight. So I'm not going to keep rambling on. I want to talk about Cam Newton, Ace Boogie, my guy. If I always say if you watch your channel, but I understand we starting to get a lot of new viewers and a lot of new people who come to channel. So if you don't know, I'm a huge Cam Newton fan. I love Cam Newton. I can't stand the people who go at Cam. Matter of fact, I did a show a couple weeks ago when I said why I fuck with Cam Newton. If you didn't watch that show, I'll tell you again. So you have to understand, in the African American community, for a long time, the only quarterback that we had, and I say we loosely because I don't actually support this dude, and it ain't because of his crimes. It was because I just didn't think he was that great. It was Michael Vick. That's all we had. Every time you hear a black person talk about their favorite quarterback, they bring up fucking Michael Vick. Every single time. Excuse me. And if you talk to a experienced black individual who watched football, meaning they watched football and understood what they was watching, they have to say something like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, because we didn't have the African American quarterback that we really liked that much. We had Vic, but Vic went to jail. And like I said, I say we loosely because I actually was never a Vic fan. And I actually don't like Michael Vick now, not as a human being. I just don't like hearing him talk about football because to me, it's the thing he did to Lamar 2 years ago. I'm not gonna lie to you. But what irritates me about hearing the Michael Vick, I'm not mad at people continuously bringing up Vick's greatest moments of his career. My problem is when you use his greatest moment, when you use Lamar Jackson to try to keep Vick relevant. I just think that's so disrespectful to Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback, player, thrower, runner, everything you could think of. He is better than Michael Vick 10 times over. When people, I heard somebody the other day say, Lamar's special, but Vick in open space, bro, that's you being nostalgic, bro. Vick in space is not what Lamar Jackson is in space, bro. Vick wasn't even nowhere near as twitchy as Lamar. Vick was a straight line runner most of the time. So I'm confused, bro. This is why I get irritated. This is why a lot of black people get irritated when everybody say, oh, this quarterback is like this quarterback, and it's just a lot of black quarterbacks who can run the ball. Because Cam Newton run different from Vick. Vick run different from Lamar. Lamar run different from Cam. Like, it's like the closest thing to Vick to me, as far as running style, probably be Justin Fields. Justin Fields kind of operate like Michael Vick do. The only difference is I would never say Justin Fields is better than Michael Vick, because Michael Vick could still throw the football. Justin Fields cannot. And when I say throw the football, obviously I'm not saying the motherfucker can't throw an actual football. It's not what I'm saying. However, I want to talk about Cam Newton, Ace Boogie. He a better man than me. You know, I saw this clip today of Cam Newton getting jumped, and I ain't never seen a dude get jumped and look like he was the one jumping all the dudes who was jumping him. It was actually crazy. It really put in perspective for you how big this motherfucker is, Cam Newton, which I realized how this ain't no normal human being a while ago. But it's just like when you see, you know, one of the things that's really impressive about Cam. Y'all remember when he was doing his little comeback, when he wanted to come back the first time and he signed with the Patriots, and he did his videos without the shirt on where he was training. I'm like, bro, what quarterback is built like that? Because you see Pat Mahomes, and bro, what I'm finna say, what I'm saying does not give you anybody the right to be like, well, Pat Mahomes can look at that and he got 3 Super Bowl, bro. I'm just talking about a quarterback's rarely being built like a Cam Newton. This ain't got nothing to do with who the one who better. We already know Pat the better of the two. This is not bringing up accomplishments and whatnot, bro. This is just making an observation. Like, I don't know why people can't make observations nowadays with people thinking it's a deeper meaning into it or having to say something slick back. That's the problem with Cam Newton camps, but we'll get to that. It just amazes me when I realize how not normal Cam Newton is to be playing quarterback. I mean, the motherfucker built like a linebacker and he played quarterback. It makes no sense. But when the black community got Cam, and he ended up, and he from Atlanta, so he black, played in Carolina, that ain't too far from Atlanta, North Carolina, the Carolina Panthers, which I think is was the perfect landing spot for Cam, especially when you consider what he did for Carolina. When you look at how he got the fan base behind him, how he just had Carolina rocking, how he was carrying a Panthers team that was so under-equipped offensively when you compare it to the other offenses that was running around the NFL and the talent on those offenses at the time. Cam Newton was just a beacon for African Americans, for black people, bro. He was our guy. We still love Cam Newton. I like the Carolina crowd because they never turn their backs on Cam. So we rock with Cam over here. And I think he just has been done a disservice in his career by Carolina. That's one of the reasons I didn't like Carolina for the longest, because I'm like, bro, why is they doing this man like this? It just didn't make sense to me. But I want to talk about the video that we saw. And it's not even, I done seen multiple videos from Cam Newton camps where the kids is disrespecting him, where they say something stupid. Like, and I just don't get it, bro. I understand why it's happening, but I just don't understand it, bro. Like, we got so many parents nowadays. Either they in their early 20s, late 20s, early 30s. You got a lot of parents having kids who they don't want to raise. They let them do whatever the fuck they want. They let them say whatever they fuck they want. And it's this new thing where parents, these young jackass parents think that raising your kid, not letting your kid grow up, raising your kid, it's a difference between a kid just growing up and you actually raising that kid. For some reason, that's looked at as abuse and all these type of things now. Like I saw a video, and I done brought this up before, but I saw the video again of a Hispanic woman pushing her son's head into some cake. And I done seen this done with different cultures all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. The son began swinging on the mama and shit like that. Like, and this kid got to be like 7. And people in the comments was saying she was in the wrong. What? Twitter is an interesting place. Social medias are an interesting place for a bunch of failures to get on there and act as if they are not failures and tell people who are successful that no, you're not doing it the right way. That's what I'm starting to realize, because a lot of failed parents is the ones that, and you know what's very interesting to me? It's failed parents, single parents, and niggas who ain't got children who hop on there and tell people how to raise their kids. And it's some damn good parents out there who discipline their kids, who are teaching their kids to be good human beings. See, I think some people raise their kids and they be like, bro, we just want you to be successful at whatever you want to be. What about being a good human being? Being successful is one part of being a human being. Yeah, obviously you want to be successful in your career. What about being a good human being? How do you miss that part? What about being a respectful individual? When I was coming up, all the different type of fighting trainings I took, the first thing they taught us was respect. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. That was a thing that we learned. And because I done so much fighting, that's a thing that I done stuck with. Like it's not random because I do it all the time. I say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, to people who are in higher authority, elders, people who deserve that type of respect. I say it all the time. That's clearly not being taught in the households today. I mean, your kid could be doing something bad and these young parents will get mad at you for trying to discipline their child. Oh, don't discipline my child. Well, why don't you discipline your child? And the reason I bring this up is because that's the only reason the shit that's happening at Cam Newton's camp continues to happen. I'm almost at the point where they need to evacuate. They need to just obliterate Atlanta off the map, bro. Because you motherfuckers down there in Atlanta ain't shit. I mean, y'all like to talk about Florida. Bro, you motherfuckers in Atlanta, boy, you're terrible people. And you're bad parents. You care about getting drunk in the different club scenes and all this stupid shit. How about y'all raise y'all kids the right way, bro? Because it's going to be some jackass out there who be like, well, we don't know what Cam Newton did. Bro, Cam Newton don't have to do what he is doing for the youth. Point blank, period. He don't have to throw these tournaments. He don't have to do these events. He don't have to do these camps. He do it out of the kindness of his heart. Period. He rich. He got other things he could be doing. He got a successful show on YouTube. It's a lot of other things Cam Newton could be doing with his time than investing it in your child. And you want to know what I find real interesting? Some of these parents don't even show up to the fucking events with their kids. They just send the kids off. So you got a disrespectful child and you just send them off. You got an undisciplined child and you just sending them off into somebody else's thing. See, Cam Newton a better man than me, because after I saw them kids disrespect him that first time when they was talking about some his rings or something like that, my boy, you're not even in the league. You're at my camp and you trying to clown me. I would have never done another event. And give me a second. But Cam Newton's a better man than me, because you disrespect me like that. Yeah, bro, that one kid done ruined it for the whole bunch. Because the fact of the matter is, I can't do background check on all these little badass kids that's coming to my camp. I can't do a background check to see if these little motherfuckers was raised with any type of respect. I can't do a background check on all the parents and see if they raised their kids the right way with some type of discipline in their life. I can't do that. And so if I'm Cam Newton, I'm just going to end the camp, bro. Point blank, period. Shit that happened to Cam today is exactly why you wouldn't catch me doing this type of shit for the youth. People always say the youth, the youth, the youth, the youth. Have you seen the youth for lately? Because I know there's going to be some white people who say, oh, a bunch of degenerates, just some bad black kids. But I done seen this from white kids, black kids, Hispanic kids, Mexican kids, all type of kids. Just a lack of disrespect in this era. And it's the high school, middle schoolers in this generation that is a lot, that is. And the sad part is they are rubbing off on the elementary kids and the kids that come after them. You feel like you could tell any type. Bro, I can't even imagine what it would have been like going to a NFL camp. I mean, a professional athlete's camp and disrespecting him. Like he should be happy to have me there. What? What the fuck? Like that's the youth nowadays, bro. Parents is raising their kids like these motherfuckers should be happy you in the room. You the prize. What? Like, bro. And then 7 dudes jumping Cam Newton. I know these dudes thought they was doing something. I know they thought they was going to be able to hop on their Insta. For one, how do you come to a camp with the intentions of fighting Cam Newton? Because you had to come to the camp knowing that you was going to be on this type of timing. On top of that, what's up with Cam's security and the cops? Well, he probably don't even think security and cops should have to be there, like, even though he a celebrity, so they should be there. But hey, Cam Newton a better dude than me, bro. Because you want to know what? I'm being so serious right now. I'm not with incarcerating black men and things of that nature. All y'all little niggas would have got arrested, bro. I'm dead ass serious, bro. Because one thing that I don't like more than anything is, well, obviously I don't like racism and all that type of shit. Disrespect. I invite you to this camp. I invite you to whatever the event this is. I don't have to be here. I am so very clearly helping you, not myself. And this is how y'all act. I don't care if Cam Newton made a joke or whatever. For one, when did we get to this space where high schoolers, middle schoolers can just swing on motherfuckers when something is said to them that they don't like? Now, I know I joke on here all the time when I say stuff like, bro, if Buddy said that, man, I'll slap shit out of it or something like. When did this become okay to actually go out there fighting people because of words or things like that? Mind you, most of these people disrespect Cam first. These dudes who, and you know the real sad part is, it was a bunch of black dudes who disrespected Cam. And I can almost guarantee you I know how each and every one of them dudes act on a regular basis. I can almost guarantee you I know exactly how the conversations they had afterwards went. I can almost guarantee you, unless Cam Newton and the cops or something do something about these dudes, there will be no punishments for these dudes when they get home. They probably run their houses. It's probably no father figures in their houses. Because I'm a firm believer, if you get raised by a good father, you don't go around doing the shit that these dudes did. You're not just fighting people for no reason. You're not just fighting higher authority figures in you. You're not disrespecting somebody when they give you an opportunity to showcase your skills. I just don't believe that. And so it's a lot of things being said about this Cam Newton situation. I think this is bad parenting. And there's nothing Cam Newton can do about some kids who just raised the wrong way. And then outside of parenting, because now you get into this age where even if you was raised the wrong way, where you was raised with no structure, and some of these dudes are raised with structure. They are raised with discipline. And they still go out here and do this type shit. Now, I'm going to just tell you, bro, if they willing to do this to Cam Newton, I can't imagine what they do at their own crib to their moms and pops if they do got a pops in the house. I can't imagine. And the worst part, the saddest part, and I really hate this because I'm finna attack my people for a second. I'm around African Americans, black people all the time. And so I done seen the single black mom who always frustrated, always irritated, mad at the world because of her bad decisions. And I done seen her take that out on how she raised her child, basically. A lot of yelling and shit like that. When he get to a certain age, you don't even raise them no more. I done seen the baby moms who still out there hoeing around, chasing dudes and whatnot, not raising kids. That's the worst part. I understand how dudes like this is created, how they are born. A lack of love, a lack of care, a lack of self-awareness, and it's all on the parent for those things. A good parent, a good parent is not going to have a child go out there and do what this child just did. It's just hard for me to believe. I understand people do bad things all the time. Very hard for me to see a lot of times bad parenting, it get blamed for. I mean, just look at all the white serial killers. They blame their parents for every fucking thing. It's bad parenting. And the fact that you could let your kid go out the house doing this type of shit. The real worst part of this to me is that they probably won't be punished. Because you commit behaviors like this and you learn nothing from them when you are not punished. And I'm not saying do nothing crazy to them, even though if I was Cam Newton, I'd press charges. But just to show these little motherfuckers like, this is what you chose to do. So now deal with these consequences, my boy. Like, straight up. I just think it's so weird that, and it's come from this standing on business and all. That's why I hate the young generation, bro. And I never really thought too hard about it when I be hearing other people say, oh, we doomed. We might be doomed. We might be doomed. If this younger generation is getting raised by a bunch of terrible parents who just in turn creating terrible kids, you know, I don't like that motherfucker Kanye, but Kanye said in a song one time called Bring Me Down, hater niggas marry hater bitches and have hater kids. Terrible parents marry terrible dudes marry terrible bitches and have terrible kids. That's what I'm starting to realize. Because, bro, I can't even imagine having a child and letting them walk out the house and do that type of shit. Or coming home one day telling me, yeah, I went to a Cam Newton camp and I just jumped Cam Newton. Bro, I might put your ass up for adoption, bro. Because I'm like, oh my God, what did I just raise, bro? That's on the parent. And the worst part is, there's parents out there that's so bad, they could give two fucks. They child gonna come home and say they jumped Cam Newton, and the parent gonna be like, oh, tell me all about it. What? That's why I don't get mad when I be seeing stories about a parent calling the cops on their own child. Because I saw a story earlier this week of a bad parent and a bad child, but the child might have been bad, but he didn't deserve what happened to him. A father killed his son because him and his son got into an argument. Now, the only reason you and your son would be arguing is because you didn't raise your son the right way. You raised him to believe it's okay to argue with you. You raised him to believe it's okay to debate with you. Now, mind you, this is something that Twitter gonna tell you that you should be able to do with your kids. But I'm a firm believer. If I'm the parent, I'm not telling you that you can't speak to me and all that, but I'm not debating with you, my boy. If I tell you to do something, if I ask you to do something, and that's another thing. Twitter got this little thing going on where you can't tell your kids to do something. You should always ask them to do something. The fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? The fuck is wrong with y'all? If I tell my son to get up and take the fucking trash out, that's exactly what his ass better go do. I don't understand this thing where you say, oh, well, if he don't take it out, well, maybe ask him if he felt like it or what's going on in his life that made him not want to take it out. He can talk to me about his problems and take that fucking trash out. This is not a, he can't do one or the other type of things. These new age niggas on Twitter, these new age parents, bro, is exactly why you got kids going to a Cam Newton event doing the shit that you just saw, dude. Mind you, all of these motherfuckers look like they was in high school. Meaning, they at the age where they parents definitely ain't raising them no more. I would have put, all y'all motherfuckers would have been sitting in a jail cell tonight. Dead ass. And see if your terrible parents came to pick your ass up. That's what would have happened. That's what would have had to happen. Because and you might be thinking, oh, saying you only saying this because it's Cam Newton. If Baker fucking Mayfield threw a fucking camp, which I don't know why anybody would want to show up to a Baker Mayfield camp, but that's neither here nor there. If Baker Mayfield had a camp and multiple people tried to jump him at the camp, I would have the same thing to say about Baker Mayfield. The exact same thing. Because he throwing this out of the kindness of his heart. Now somebody gonna be like, oh, they gotta pay to go to the camp. Bro, the money probably ain't going to Cam or Baker. It would be going to the organizers who help set the stuff up, the sponsors who there, and all those type of things. Cam probably not seeing that bread. And I don't think he care about seeing that type of bread, because what he want to do is help the youth. And this is what the youth do. My mama used to say, you know, you try to help somebody and they give you their ass to kiss. Yeah, this is basically that. And I think it's embarrassing, to be completely honest with you. Like, imagine one of these dudes get on, because you know how these dudes in social media is, bro. They more in love with social media than with actual women. It's crazy. And women the same way. But you know, one of them probably gonna hop on Twitter to try to explain what happened, or Instagram Live, Facebook Live, just some dumbass network, and they gonna talk about fighting Cam Newton, bro. We already know it's gonna happen. So prepare for it probably in the next couple weeks or so, if not already, if it haven't already been dropped. And I'm gonna be honest, I could care less if Cam spoke on it or not, because I don't think Cam Newton. If you watch the video, Cam wasn't even swinging on these dudes. He was just manhandling all of them, getting them out the way. And to the dude in the white who threw that sucker punch, man, I really wish I could fight your goofy ass. See, that type shit really irritates me. Y'all already trying to jump the man, and then you just went and did that. And the cops didn't even do nothing to him for that. It was almost like seeing the dude who hit the white woman with the chair in the Alabama Miracle. And the cop immediately arrested him. You like, okay, I get that. I mean, you clocked the woman while she was down with the chair. I ain't saying she didn't deserve it, but you knew something was gonna happen. This dude in a white shirt threw the sucker punch, and they just let the motherfucker stand there. Like, he looked like he tried to fight somebody. Bro, I really wish I could fight you. I ain't gonna lie. I don't say that too often. I really wish I just hate the pussiness of what I saw, bro. Like, that's one of the things that stood out to me. I'm like, bro, this dude's such a pussy, bro. He only threw that punch because he knew Cam couldn't stop it from coming, and Cam already had 5 other dudes on him that he was taking care of. And you threw that goofy ass punch, bro. Y'all really raised like bitches, and y'all probably gonna go home and think, oh, I'm the man. We just jumped the NFL player. Bro, do you know how goofy your existence gotta be for this? I really wish some of the people, some of the young youth that act like this, like the dudes who want to get rich and still be gang members, I really wish some of y'all would just croak over and die. I know that's crazy to say, but y'all taking up oxygen from people who actually want to be here, who want to live a good life, who want to be taught things and things of that nature. People like this who go to a camp to do shit like this, bruh. I just don't understand how y'all keep getting all this extra oxygen and shit like that, bro. I really do wish something could. I mean, I know how crazy that sound, bro. But y'all don't just get tired of motherfuckers, bro, being ignorant for no reason, stepping on blessings for no reason, being unappreciative for no reason, being hateful, spiteful, and mean for no reason. It's like my sister. It's like my sister. Now, I ain't about to sit on here and say I hope my sister die. But if she did, I wouldn't cry right now. I'm going to keep it a whole buck with you. Now, I know somebody like, Saint, that's crazy. Fuck that bitch. She crazy. Well, she not crazy. She just like to get a lower that she is, or whatever you say. I just know my sister, bro. I got 4 sisters. The third oldest one the other day told me, she basically threatened to shoot me. She basically said she was going to put some bullets in me. We wasn't arguing. We wasn't doing nothing like that. She just was irritated and told me while I was talking that she would shoot me. But she said it in a creative way. And I told her in that moment, I said, that's crazy, because I don't think I done ever threatened to shoot none of y'all. I have never threatened to do any type of real harm. I have never threatened to kill none of my siblings. And in that moment, I realized how much I don't like my sister, bro. And I always say how mean she is and shit like that. But in that moment, it made me really realize, because I know she didn't think of it. She didn't think she was saying nothing crazy. Because she mean all the time. She say ignorant shit to me all the time. And I just let it roll off my back. So I know when she said that, she didn't think too hard about it. But I think about it every day that she done said it. You put 8 bullets in me. I'm like, that's interesting. Because I just wouldn't think that somebody who's supposed to love you, who was raised with you, would ever say nothing crazy like that to you unless we was literally joking about killing each other. So that was crazy to me. Like, if my sister passed right now, you wouldn't hear me say a word. Because she's just a mean person, bro. And I'm not understanding why people are like that. Like, why be mean just to be like, and she always act like her day's so much worse than everybody else's. She act like she the only person in life who go through problems. And then when she do something that's legitimately fucked up, she'll try to act like you was the one who did it. And then the worst type of people is people who do you dirty and then they keep going about their life like, I don't care if they don't fuck with me. I'm going to be me regardless. Them some of the most ignorant individuals you can ever deal with. And that's my sister. You know, I used to feel bad for some of the bad things that happened to my sister in life. After she told me what she had told me a couple weeks ago, and this happened like 2 weeks ago, I ain't been the same. I ain't felt the same about my sister since, bro. I ain't felt the same about my sister since. And then a couple days later, I had walked up to my aunt's house because I told her I ain't got a car, right? My car had got, I didn't have a car. Now I got a car again now, but I didn't have one. So I needed to do something. So I just walked up to my aunt's house. That was about a 25-minute walk, probably a little shorter. I did not feel like walking back to my crib. So I asked my sister, who not doing nothing. She is up watching these shows of the girls fighting and shit. I say, hey, if you don't mind, can you run me up to the house? It's a 5-minute drive, not even 5 minutes. It's literally like a 2-minute drive. And she, oh my God. I say, you know what? Never mind. Don't even need you to do it. I say, I'm not finna do this with you. I'm not begging you to do it. I'm not going to cry about it. Nope, you can do it. I'll just walk home. Now, luckily, my mom didn't want me to walk home. So my mom got up. And my mom, an older woman. So we don't want her having to always get up and run and do this because she gets short of breath very quick. So we would prefer my mom, our mom, to stay in a, you know, to not have to do extra driving or extra getting up, walking and all that type of stuff. My mom did end up taking me home that night. And I just ain't looked at my sister the same ever since, bro. She remind me of these niggas. Like, why do y'all dudes exist? Like, what is the purpose? Somebody asked me about God the other day, man. And these are the type of things I'd be thinking about. But I told him I'm too broke to care if God is real, not real. Like, I'm too broke to have that come into my thoughts every day. You know what I'm saying? If you ever notice it, the rich man is always like, I want to thank God and the man above for, you know, these blessings and yada, yada, yada. Listen, I understand a lot of people is very religious, heavily go in the church and all that type of stuff. I'm cool with that. I'm not telling you I don't believe in God. What I'm telling you is I'm too broke to care. It's like I said about the government. They can do all these type of things. I'm too broke for it to matter at this point. It's just the reality. It's just reality. Now I know some heavily spiritual person like, bro, you're never too broke to love the Lord. To you. But listen, we got a couple more things. So if I'm Cam Newton, like I said, bro, there's no way I'm doing another one of these events, especially not in Atlanta. If anything, I'm not doing them in Atlanta ever again, bro. Because you little bad niggas in Atlanta is starting to get on my nerves, bro. Y'all worse than these Florida dudes, bro. Because I thought Florida was terrible with how I'm seeing dudes making rap songs about the dude they just killed, about their ops, and going to people's grave and doing crazy stuff. I'm like, this is nuts. You dudes in Atlanta, bro. Y'all make no sense, bro. Y'all is the worst. I done seen dudes from Florida be around people who they respect and not disrespect them the way y'all people do. Like, there's some dudes in Florida who could be disrespected by Kodak, and they'll never touch him. They'll never put a hand on him because they understand the respect. They're not gonna stand there and be disrespected. They'll probably argue with him, yada yada. They're not gonna try to fight the man. They're definitely not gonna jump, bro. For you to wake up in the morning and think that I'm gonna jump somebody, I just think jumping people is pussy behavior. Anytime dudes want to engage in jumping somebody, for one, you soft if you got to jump somebody because you know you can't take that man by himself. That's the only way you would ever try to jump somebody is when you look at another individual and say to yourself, I can't beat him by myself. So imagine what it was like for 7 different niggas to look at Cam and say, oh, I can't beat him. I can't either. You know I can't. You know my little ass can't beat him. My po ass can't beat him. I can't either. Well, shit, if y'all can't do nothing with it, what I'm gonna do with him? And then they all ganged up and say, you know what? Let's be bitches today. Let's be pussy made today. Let's act like we got vaginas down there today, and let's just go jump them and still lose. That is, oh my God, ladies. You know what? I apologize to the women out there because this is worse than pussy behavior. This is worse than acting like you got a vagina down there. Okay. This is way worse. Okay. This is This is Neanderthal behavior. Okay? Neanderthal behavior. Bunch of fucking Neanderthals. But give me a second again. And before we get too deep in the video, even though we already an hour into the show, like always, you know I haven't been doing it. If you want to see me make a certain type of video, just remember, drop that in the comments. Always drop those type of suggestions. Anytime you have a suggestion, just drop it in the comment section. Okay? Just always do that. But now I want to switch gears. Shout out to Ace Boogie. Talk about Richard Sherman real quick, and then I'm gonna move to Eric Bieniemy. Richard Sherman arrested for his third DUI in 3 years or some shit like that. Here on the channel, we might not like a lot of Richard Sherman's sports takes, but obviously if you watched, especially the last couple weeks, I done basically said I don't listen to Richard Sherman speak on sports most of the time, especially that quarterback position. However, if you watch the channel, and if you don't, Richard Sherman, one of my favorite corners all time. Not people, not person, corners. I think he is one of the greatest corners I have ever watched with my own two eyes. Now, when I say that, I did not say he was better than Dion or anybody who you might think he is that's better than Richard Sherman. All right? I just said out of the corners who I watch, he is one of the best ones I've ever watched. Now, a lot of people gonna disrespect Richard Sherman's career. Oh, he only did this. Listen. I saw a conversation going around the other day. Is Stephon Gilmore or Richard Sherman? Who would you take? Bro, the beginning of Stephon Gilmore's career, and I remember Stephon Gilmore with the Bills. Nobody really knew who he was. Stephon left the Bills and went to the Patriots, and that's when people started to realize, oh, this motherfucker is a great cornerback. And he done been great his whole career, but he really broke out when he got to the Patriots. I believe it was the Patriots who he went to. Nonetheless, Stephon Gilmore is a great cornerback. I think he's a Hall of Famer in the future. He is not better than Richard Sherman, especially prime Richard Sherman. Like, people like to use Richard Sherman's back end of his career when he was with San Francisco, when he was nowhere near the Richard Sherman that he used to be. Every great corner eventually will get toasted by a speed threat if they still having to defend him one-on-one. It happened to Revis all the time when he got to the back end. Well, when he left his prime. It happened to Richard Sherman. Well, hell, we see great corners in their primes get burnt by speedsters, bro. So this clearly y'all don't understand how the cornerback position is played and what happens when a cornerback start to slip and whatnot. Y'all just like talking shit and acting like that was his whole career. That was not Richard's whole career. But I just think when you look at ball skills, his ability to play the zone, he still played man. I don't know why people act like the man never played in the man. Plus, why would he switch to man in the scheme that's a zone scheme? I just don't understand that. And then people keep bitching about, oh, why he didn't follow the opposing best receiver. Why didn't the opposing best receiver line up in front of him? If we're going to play an ego game, if we're going to say why Richard Sherman didn't line up in front of a best receiver, why didn't the best receiver line up in front of him? Because the game plan didn't have it be that way. If you're a coach, why would you line up your best receiver in front of Richard Sherman? I don't care if Richard Sherman tried to follow him around. I'm going to find ways to get him off of Richard Sherman. That's just the reality of it all. Not to mention, why don't y'all ever talk about when he was shutting down the best corners? I still remember a game where he did work to Keenan Allen, and y'all kept giving Keenan Allen credit for burning Richard Sherman when he was catching slants and dig routes. Shit that Richard Sherman ain't got no responsibility in. That's when I knew a lot of you motherfuckers didn't know football. Like, what I'm supposed to do if he run a perfect slant route when the only reason you would run a slant route is because you know nobody going to be in the middle of the field like they should be to defend it. How in the hell is that? Like, it was just a lot of things that y'all hated Richard Sherman, and y'all was trying to point out where I'm like, bro, y'all clearly don't know football because this is not on Richard Sherman. Like, y'all is stupid. And then you would see plays where Seattle, like, you You get mad at Richard Sherman because the Seattle scheme is a zone scheme. And you basically asked Richard Sherman for like 4-5 years. Bro, don't listen to the scheme. Ignore the fact that you got Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Brandon Browner, who I understand he is in prison right now. But ignore the fact that you got all that talent around you. Just go AWOL. Go rogue. Do your own thing so we can feel better about you. Like, what, bro? Y'all fans are just a bunch of fucking morons, bro. I think that fans is some big-ass Neanderthals also. But we didn't come here to talk about Richard Sherman and how good he was. I just think it's crazy some of the conversations y'all have. But listen, Richard Sherman is really putting on a display of stupidity. I mean, 1 time, 2 times, you think it'd be enough. But a 3rd time, you get a DUI. And I'm glad the cops was able to get him before he was able to hurt somebody, because I just don't understand this drinking and driving shit. I really don't. Especially when you Richard Sherman and you can pay for Uber. You got the money for it. You done been blessed to where you don't have to worry about how you're going to get home. Because you got the money to make sure you get home safely, even if you're inebriated. You know you don't have to drive. You got the money to make sure your car get back to the crib. Not to mention, if you know you're going out drinking, why would you drive anyways? Why wouldn't you just have a chauffeur that night? Also, Richard this done happened to him before. How many times do this have to happen to you? You know what's wild? Any NFL player doing drinking and drinking and then going to drive. Did Henry Ruggs shit not just happen a couple years ago, bro? Is he not sitting in a prison cell right now because of drinking and driving? And the worst that could happen with drinking and driving happened to him. He ended up killing somebody. I know white people gonna be like, and she had a dog in there. Okay. He ended up killing a human being. And that wasn't enough to get NFL players. Because I understand we got this wicked society where if it's not happening to me or directly to me, then I don't learn a lesson and I don't care about something. But then as soon as it started to hit home, now we start to care. You know how many people could give 2 fucks about gun violence before the schools that they kids went to and got killed in, and condolences to them. It's a lot of people in them schools whose kids, they thought this will never happen to my child. So I want the right to bear arms. And as soon as their child was gunned down in school, which is a tragic thing to happen, then they started caring about gun violence. It just don't work that way. You got to care about something from the rip, bro. You got to care about, and that's the thing. Most people don't care about common sense because they don't sit down long enough to think about it, or they think about impeding on my rights. Drinking and driving is such a crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, bro, most people don't learn something until it directly happened to them. Richard Sherman is an NFL player. Henry Ruggs is an NFL player. That is a direct, happening to us. Because I'm an NFL. You should say to yourself, I'm an NFL player. That happened to him. I mean, how did that situation not hit home? That's crazy. And then I just don't understand this obsession. So, I don't drink. So maybe I'll never understand it. I did used to drink back in the day. I used to drink when I was in high school. Now, I'm not old, bro. In 2012 was when I graduated high school. But think about that time frame. I was drinking and everything. Not once did I ever drink and get behind the wheel of a car. But, I'm not some holier than thou person. I just thought to myself, there's really no need for me to be drinking in this kind of, it's no need for me to be driving in this kind of state. Now, I know most people don't have that type of common sense. That's why you got people going out drinking and driving. But another thing that kept me from drinking and driving wasn't just because I didn't have an inflated ego where I thought to myself, I can get drunk and still go home and drive. I didn't want to ever have to put myself in a position where I killed somebody because of my recklessness. Do you understand how you're going to feel one day if you're drinking and driving and you end up, what these big motherfuckers carrying this fat motherfucker? Okay, I got to stop watching TV while I'm doing this. I got to stop having the TV on. But how do you think you're going to feel? You getting drunk and driving and you go kill somebody. You take the life of people. I just saw a clip on Twitter with this Mexican dude who was going like 150, I think they said. And they showed the carnage of what happened. I just don't understand it, bro. I think Richard Sherman need to seek help because clearly this is a problem. Clearly it's something in him that loved to go drinking and driving. Clearly it's something in him that like tapping that bottle. And that's one of the things I don't understand. I understand people say, well, especially me, I understand athletes go through things and they got to have their vices to be able to get through the things that they get through. I just don't know how drinking is ever the solution for anybody. I don't know how drinking make anything better. I never met somebody who made better decisions drunk. I never met somebody who sounded smart when they were drunk. I never met anybody who could walk in a straight line drunk, but was still hot behind the car is insane. So to me, I might not ever understand this obsession with alcohol because it was easy for me to give the alcohol up because I just think it tastes disgusting. And back when I was drinking, bro, I just, you want to be cool. You want everybody to think you cool and shit like that. Oh, I get drunk and yada, yada, yada. But once I became myself and I came into my own, I stopped giving two flying fucks about what people think of me, about me. You know what I'm saying? That just didn't matter to me anymore. So I could start living my own, what they be saying, living in my truth. But yeah, Richard Sherman need to seek help, bro, because to me, drinking and driving is just disgusting, bro. So a month ago, I believe it was like a month ago. It was either a month or 2 months ago, but it was so fresh in my head that I think it's a month ago. But I would remember this anyways because I'm always going to remember near-death experiences. I was driving around like it wasn't like a crazy turn, but it was like a pretty interesting turn. And as I'm coming around a turn, you can't really see the traffic coming your way until you get to a certain spot. And as I'm coming around that turn, a car on the other side of the street is basically driving head first into me. So this dude clearly is drunk driving. And I could see the person in the thing. This clearly a drunk driver at the last minute. And I would have got hit too because I wasn't thinking fast enough. Like I'm thinking to myself, is he really about to drive his car right into me? Swerved at the last second. He did. And you could tell he was drunk because the way he drove away and the way he was driving at me. And I'm thinking to myself, the whole way I get, like the rest of it, I got like a 5-minute drive to get to where I need to get to. When I got there, I remember saying to myself, like, bro, dude almost fucked up my whole day because he wanted to get behind the wheel drunk. I can't imagine it. And then I don't understand why people get drunk and don't think to themselves, like I said before, the worst thing that can happen, like most people, they weigh the pros and cons of a situation. Bro, when the con is you can kill somebody, how did that make you not do something? That don't even make sense to me. Like, okay, the worst thing that can happen is we lose an eye. So I'm not doing it. That can't be the worst thing that happen, bro. If I'm going to do something, the worst thing that can happen cannot be death. Now, I know some people be like, well, football, you got a chance of dying at that every day. Bro, not the same, bro. Stop playing with me. If I go, and mind you, people who say stuff like that, you are one of the problems in America, bro. Every time somebody feel like I don't like something, so I'm going to come back with some dumbass thing that ain't no way related or has any type of correlation to try to make a stupid ass point, you're the problem. Like, why defend drunk driving? Just like, why defend racism? I be seeing cops shoot somebody for no reason, and the first thing a white person gonna say, well, you should have just resisted. I mean, you shouldn't have resisted. You didn't even see him resist. It's like the other day I was looking at a video on YouTube, and this just show you how terrible people are. This wasn't a white dude. This was a black dude. Even though you can never know nowadays on Twitter because white dudes be creating black accounts. But this was definitely a black dude. I could tell how he was talking. It was a video of a dude it was a basketball game. I don't know how long this dude was on the court, but he was holding his face like he was in pain or something like that, right? And I was watching him, bro, this dude, Chad. I'm looking at this clip. This dude, Chad, got his cigar is running, bro. And I'm so disgusted by it because if I'm smoking a blunt and it's running, oh boy, the irritation is going to come upon me. But listen to me. Most people is like the worst thing that can happen. And when we think about it, that's how we weigh our options. If the worst thing can happen is you could legitimately kill somebody. And I understand it. When you're drunk, you ain't thinking right anyways. So why not? But this can't just be the excuses, bro. The excuse can't be, oh, I don't think straight when I'm drunk, so, you know, I ain't got no control over me driving when I'm drunk. I just make bad decisions. Then niggas stop drinking. Like, this is my problem with drunks, basically, alcoholics. Because you're never going to hear me hate on nobody's thing. I'm never going to be like, oh, you addicted to this and this, except for when you start doing and saying shit like that. You know you got a problem when you get drunk, but you still consider to get drunk. You try to find solutions on how you can handle the problem while drunk, knowing that's not going to work. When really the solution is stop drinking. I don't understand why Richard Sherman continues to go out here and drink and drive. You got a lot of things going for you, bro. You on, I was going to say First Take. You on Undisputed, the new lesser version of it anyways. You on Fox. You getting paid FS1 money, Fox money. You got a decent little podcast. You got a podcast that make you money. You got all these opportunities. Why do this? Like, I understand some people might think this, they might see this and not think it's too big a deal. Like Richard shouldn't be punished for it, yada, yada, yada. You're a goofy individual, because I probably would suspend Richard Sherman for the rest of the year. I probably would give him a whole year of no pay from FS1, because we just can't keep having this. We cannot have you go out, because what happened when he do it again and he kills somebody? What do you think then? Do you think you was an enabler if you don't punish him for this, or if you don't figure it ain't even about punishing Richard Sherman for this. He clearly needs help. And if you think, listen, you can call it punishment. You can call it correcting a bad behavior. You can call it consequences to actions. However those words fit in your brain, I could care less. Use one of them. They all fit. Nonetheless, it's no way he should just be back on Undisputed with nothing happening. This is crazy. You cannot have him continue to go out there and drink and drive and because this is my problem. When you go drinking and driving, bro, you're not just people always be like, you put yourself in that, bro, fuck you. You already done made the bad decision. You already done said to yourself you don't like living too much. But what about that car full of, that family driving in the car beside you, who just trying to get to the movies or get home or get to a store to buy snacks for something? They not drinking and driving. They just trying to get to their next location. What about the man and the woman who newly married on the other side? What about the young adults in the car over there? What about all the people around him who not drinking and driving? Now they life just done been put in peril because he chose to drink and drive and go get on the highway or road, whatever. Because he chose to go drink and drive, now all of those people who ain't got shit to do with him drinking and driving, they didn't make the bad decision. But now their lives can be affected by his bad decision. They don't know the motherfucker personally or anything like that. But in a second, their life can be altered by him. I need the way people hated the Henry Ruggs situation to treat this the exact same way. Henry Ruggs situation, you treat it like that because the worst did happen. But Richard Sherman keep getting chances, not understanding the worst can still happen if you continue to like I said, what happened if he do this again and he go kill somebody? What if he had to kill somebody this time? What if the cops don't see him drunk driving and he just speeding around Richard need help. And if FS1 don't get him the help he need, and maybe they put it on him to go get the help he need. He got money, but I shouldn't see him on a TV screen until he get the help he need, because this is clearly a problem. And I don't want to see him get the rich people help where he gone for a week or two and then he back and he healed. You're clearly not, my boy. You clearly not. And when you go drunk driving, you really need help, because that's saying you don't care about other people's lives. You don't care if you go kill somebody else. You don't care if you kill yourself. You don't care if you kill somebody in the car with you. You don't care about killing the strangers. I saw a drunk, bro. I done seen like people who walking get hit by drunk drivers. You know how traumatic that is to see? Now, I'm good, but that's crazy to see. So Richard need help, bro. Point blank period. He need help. And I don't want to see this motherfucker on TV again until he get the help. I don't want to see him on podcasts and all this type of shit. That motherfucker needs help, bro. Because the fact that he can keep drinking and going to drive is just absolute insanity. And my last topic that we want to talk about on the show tonight. Y'all notice these shows done got a little bit longer, bro. We in the 72nd minute. And we just now getting to the Eric Bieniemy thing. These shows can be around 2 hours. I don't be wanting them to be that long. The last 2 episodes haven't been that long because I would like to build up my fan base and my followers before I start making shows that long. Even though I do have people who done asked me to make shows that long, I just think it's hard to keep somebody's attention span when they're not already fucking with you. Like if you fuck with me and you rock with me, you don't care how long the show is. You gonna watch it. But if you a new viewer, and you like, that's an hour, 2 hours long. I don't know if well, you're going to have to get over the hour part because most of them is an hour. But like something longer than that, you probably going to like, I ain't never watched him before. I don't really know what he's going to say. It's going to be a long show. I don't know if I want to watch it. You know what I'm saying? But hell, it is what it is. I can't just cut the recording off when I'm getting into points and stuff. So it is what it is. But Eric Bieniemy has taken an assistant coaching job, head OC at UCLA under Deshaun Foster, the former running back for the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to tell you, I was crazy. My aunt, that's her cousin. Deshaun Foster is one of her cousins. I'm not bullshitting with you. She got pictures of him, of her and him together. It's crazy. Now, I know some people saying, well, why your family ain't got money? I ask the same thing every day. I'm like, auntie, if that's your cousin, why won't he bless us? Because he's not related to none of us, bro. He related to her. So, it is what it is. But anyways, this is such a shame. And maybe it ain't in Eric Bieniemy's cards to be a head coach in the NFL. But I just think this is one of the most disgusting downgrades I'd ever seen. And I'm not going to keep getting on here talking about Eric Bieniemy because clearly it doesn't matter. Well, I don't operate like that. Oh, if it don't matter, I ain't gonna talk about it. But it's just one of them things where you just get so tired of saying it because if you watch the Kansas City Chiefs while Eric Bieniemy was there, it's not really hard to see his impact, especially if you looked at those years, looked at this year without him. It's not hard to see the impact of Eric Bieniemy on this Kansas City offense. And even though they won the Super Bowl this year, they could have used Eric Bieniemy for the offense. Now, Eric Bieniemy won a Super Bowl with them last year. He was the OC. He had just as poor talent as they had this year, last year. So I'm not trying to hear no shit about, well, Eric Bieniemy couldn't have coached up this type of talent. He coached up this type of talent last year. They called him in to talk to the Chiefs before they played against the Ravens. I just saw a thing where the Chiefs defense averaged like 13.5 points given up this postseason. That's like the 5th best all time. And the number 1 was the Ravens giving up 5.8. You know how insane it is to give up less than a fucking touchdown throughout the playoffs, bro? That's crazy. They didn't even give up 6 fucking points, even though if you round it up, it is 6 points. But to basically give up a touchdown or less a game is crazy. But I'm not. Eric Bieniemy getting this UCLA job, I don't know how it helps him eventually get a coaching job as a head coach in the future. And I just think it's a real shame. Maybe it's things going on with Eric Bieniemy we don't know. And I really hate that I had to say that, but that's the type of thing you start to say when you just confused as to why somebody can't get a job who is more than deserving of having a head coaching job. And I would have given him a head coaching job before I gave Rob Saleh or any defensive coordinator a head coaching job. That include DeMeco Ryans. It's just I'm not hiring a defensive-minded head coach over Eric Bieniemy in this NFL. But I just don't know how UCLA gets him. I mean, obviously we done seen hella white OCs get head coaching jobs, get great positions after coming out of college and things like that. But clearly that's not going to work for Bieniemy. If I'm Bieniemy, I would have never left Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. It don't matter how many jobs I got passed up on. I'm not finna allow the media to continuously say, well, the reason he ain't getting no job is because he got Pat Mahomes. When I saw Josh McDaniels get 3 jobs, basically, and all he did was have Tom fucking Brady. I don't understand how that works. I don't understand how you got coordinators, white coordinators who was a part of great teams with great quarterbacks and hella weapons, but somehow Eric Bieniemy keep getting knocked for having Pat Mahomes. Then I hear somebody say, "Oh, well, he had Eric Bieniemy too." Josh McDaniels had Tom Brady, a great defense, and he had Bill Belichick too. So I don't understand. He done been terrible at every stop and kept getting head coaching jobs. So what's the difference? I done seen OCs who haven't done nearly what Eric Bieniemy did get jobs. Not to mention this little, he had Pat Mahomes. I don't care nothing about that. Look at the offense. Do the offense help Pat Mahomes, or is Pat Mahomes carrying the offense? Last year, I saw Eric Bieniemy change up his offense in order to help out Pat Mahomes because he realized Pat going through some things right now. He is struggling. So let me make the game easier for Pat Mahomes. What they did last year, you saw bleed into this year. Still using the same concepts and things like that to keep the game simple for Pat Mahomes at times where the game can, I'm not telling you that the game can be too much for Pat Mahomes, but the people around him, it can become too much for him. And the simplicity and some of the things that they do help get them back on track. Eric Bieniemy got a lot to do with that. For some reason, people like to, he had Pat Mahomes. See, I don't like it when it's that easy for people to knock somebody. Like when I talk about Josh McDaniels, it ain't because I don't like Josh McDaniels. I think he a terrible head coach. I think he a terrible OC. I think not even a terrible OC. I think he overrated because I watched the Patriots. I don't know what was so fucking special about what he did. Tom Brady's offense was Tom Brady's offense. A lot of dinking and dunking. He took the shots here and there. But what was so special about the offense? Because I don't see that shit work for really anybody else. But Josh McDaniels got a head coaching job off of that. You kept giving him hella credit off of that. A lot of the people who got hired from under Andy Reid don't even call plays. They all got jobs as the head coach. So if I was Eric Bieniemy, it's just impossible for me to let the outside people in the media tell me basically that, yeah, you should go take a lesser job because you'll never get a head coaching job because you got Pat Mahomes and that. I would have stayed exactly where the fuck I was at. Now, maybe he just got tired of Kansas City. And I understand Eric Bieniemy wanting to go out and try to create his own path. Well, he already was doing that. And it's unfortunate because he saw people before him not be penalized and punished with those type of antics and with those type of takes. He saw people get hired before that. I mean, hell, Matt Nagy, the OC, he didn't win a Super Bowl with Pat Mahomes until this year. And it was very clear who was calling the plays this year. But Matt Nagy hadn't won with Pat Mahomes. He still got a job. So I understand if Eric Bieniemy was like, bro, they keep moving the goalposts for me, bro. I done seen the people who basically got nowhere near my resume, who did the same thing I did, and they got jobs. And they was worse at their job than I am at mine, and they still got picked over me. I understand it. Like, I can't fault the man for going out and trying to find a way to achieve his dream. Clearly, his dream is to be a head coach in the NFL. And he left and went to a terrible situation to try to prove he could do that. I said from the beginning, though, that was never a good option to go there because of Ron Rivera. It wasn't nothing on that team but Ron Rivera that I knew he wasn't going to be where he needed to be. Because in order for Eric Bieniemy to be great, he still need his head coach to be competent. And I don't know why y'all keep overrating Ron Rivera, but he clearly is not a competent head coach anymore. I don't care. Let me rephrase this. I respect that he beat cancer. He had cancer and made it through it. But if people continue to use that as the basis of him being a head coach, then y'all gonna keep doing every team that he coached a disservice. And that's my opinion. I don't think that he did great in Carolina. I think he had a lot of talent and he didn't elevate that talent. I don't think he done a great job in Washington. I think he done had talent, but he never elevated that talent. Every team he done been on, show me the superstar who he helped make better. Show me the good players that he made great. And I could be wrong on Ron Rivera. I'm not telling you I'm right. I'm telling you what I've observed and what I've seen. If I'm Eric Bieniemy, that would have been one of the last places I signed with. You got new ownership and whatnot coming over. You should. Plus, I'm not finna go work for a head coach who it could be his last year. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get fired with him. Even though my legacy ain't nowhere near attached to Ron Rivera's. But I'm hearing how people shitting on Eric Bieniemy after his time in Washington, and I'm just like, bro, was it even worth it? Was it even worth it? And maybe Bieniemy is just a terrible human being. Maybe that's what it is, and we just haven't found out yet. But, you know, the way they doing this, man, just don't make sense to me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I really do hope that one day he get the opportunity to coach in the NFL, but you know, because I'm not going to tell somebody, you know, I can't fault Eric Bieniemy for chasing his dreams and trying to figure out, like, the only way you make some of these dumb moves that he made the last 2 years, I guess people would say, or some of these downgrades, I don't want to call them dumb moves, but he really had no choice. And the reason that's why I don't want to call them dumb moves, because in hindsight, yeah, Bieniemy will probably even tell you, yeah, it just wasn't his best move, but I had no choice. If I'm going to get to where I want to get to, if I'm going to make a way to be where I want to be, I had to make those decisions. I had to make those moves. I had to go coach where I coached at. And so I hate that for him, but I understand it. I understand why he made those moves. It's just real unfortunate that a coach as talented as Eric Bieniemy is now in college and he ain't even a college head coach. He a college offensive coordinator. I just think that's hella disappointing. I hate that for Eric Bieniemy. I hate this battle that Eric Bieniemy having to fight because it's not right. He is not a coach that should be having to fight this type of battle because he's not a bad coach. He is good enough to where he should have been given an opportunity, just like these other OCs who be a part of it. Shane Steichen, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Shane Steichen who was the OC. I could be confusing him with the DC. Regardless, the OC for the Eagles. He wasn't getting jobs before they brought over that talent in Philly and Jalen Hurts took that step. But as soon as they get to a Super Bowl, he started getting the interviews. He become a head coach. Frank Wright came a head coach off of a success with it. So I hate this for Eric Bieniemy. I really don't even know what to say at this point. It's just really disheartening. Especially if you've been following this Eric Bieniemy story. It really is disheartening. But I'm rooting for EB. I hope he can find a way back into the league. I hate that people like LaShawn McCoy will come out and tell people like, but LaShawn McCoy don't even realize the damage he done to this man. And that's probably one of my biggest problems. To stain up somebody's legacy who haven't done something illegal to you, hasn't done something that was so foul, so vicious to you, that you come out and speak on him the way you speak on him. And that's a problem with a lot of, and I know that Sean ain't considered young folk no more, but him being in the media and not having media training and not understanding, bro, the shit that I say can have a serious impact on certain things. Now it'll be people who run around who probably say, well, LaShawn McCoy said he was a bad person. I hear people say it all the time. Well, you know, LaShawn McCoy said he wasn't a good leader. He was a bad person and people don't like him. Now, I done heard far more people come out and speak highly of Eric Bieniemy. But just to have somebody like LaShawn McCoy come out, speak so negative. And it's not even like LaShawn McCoy done said he done something that was like very, all LaShawn McCoy done basically said is he a tough coach. He coached hard and LaShawn McCoy didn't like it. He ain't spitting on people. He ain't disrespecting people's families, their wives, their husband. Like, he ain't doing nothing crazy like that. That's why sometimes when I hear athletes come out and it's so vicious towards somebody who they don't like, I'm like, bro, have you ever sat back and thought to yourself why you don't like this person? And I'm not telling you that it's not cool for you not to like this person, but think about why you don't like him and think, is that a reason to torch him the way you finna do? Like to expose him or to talk about him in the way you finna talk about him on the internet. And if you is finna talk about him, can you at least get it right? Because LaShawn McCoy, the way he talk about Eric Bieniemy is Eric Bieniemy is a bad human and a bad coach. And then to undermine Eric Bieniemy by trying to say he didn't do none of that, it was all Pat Mahomes. Bro, you cannot credit Andy Reid the way you do. Mind you, LaShawn McCoy think Andy Reid the greatest head coach of all time, which he was with Andy Reid obviously for a long time. He was with Andy Reid in Kansas City. He was Andy Reid, the one who drafted him. However, You did not think he was the greatest coach of all time before he had Pat Mahomes. And he still drafted you. You had a lot of great seasons with Andy. So I understand it's a biased perspective he's speaking from. However, I never heard you open your mouth to say he was better than Bill before Bill lost to Tom Brady. And I don't like this argument that I don't think Andy Reid the greatest head coach of all time. I still would take Bill Belichick over him because being a leader of men and it's more than just being a great offensive play caller. That's one. I don't understand how people be hating on Bill Belichick and the talent he got around him because Eric Bieniemy is clearly a talent that Andy Reid had around him. So I'm confused by some of the things that I done heard LaShawn and other people say to discredit Bill, but then credit Andy Reid. It's just absolute insanity to me. Nonetheless, I hope Eric Bieniemy eventually get a job as a head coach. Maybe it's just not in the cards, bro. And that'll be very unfortunate because I don't like looking at somebody's story who don't worked hard. And I understand in this life, you only get what you get. You only get what you take. But at some point in time, I know there's a lot of people out there who believe, if you work hard and you do this and you do that, eventually you'll get that opportunity. Clearly, in some industries, that's just not how it works. Because how much harder can Eric Bieniemy work? How many more concepts can he draw up? You know what I'm saying? And now people trying to blame him for the shit that transpired in Washington, which is why I would have never taken that job. Because I said in the beginning of the season, when Washington inevitably is ass, Eric Bieniemy will be the one blamed for it. Ron Rivera going to get fired, but that's not what people care about. See, white article writers only care about telling you why Eric Bieniemy shouldn't be a head coach and why he couldn't get a job over the other white counterparts that got jobs. And they're going to use his failure in Washington or Washington's failure to make it seem like this is why he can't get a head coaching job. So I knew that was going to happen. But for me, Eric Bieniemy, I really do hope eventually he has that opportunity. Like I said, I wish he had never left Kansas City personally, but I cannot fault and I won't fault a man for chasing his dream and finding and trying to figure out how to chase it. You know what I'm saying? Because I done been in a position Eric Bieniemy in the sense of, bro, at this point, I don't even know how I'm going to get to where I'm getting to, but I got to figure out how to get there. I think we all done been there. And for the worst part for Bieniemy is he had the blueprint. He thought he had the blueprint on how to get to where he wanted to be. Okay, if I'm a great OC, it's a great chance I'm going to get an opportunity to be a head coach. Well, what happened when he not a great OC? When he a great OC and the opportunities don't come? Well, now you like, okay, well, maybe if I'm the OC of a Super Bowl team, well, he still don't get the opportunities. So now it's like, well, hell, what do I do? Like, do I keep downgrading just to try to get I truly feel for Eric Bieniemy, and I understand he made great money. It's not always about the money. Like, I don't understand why people bring that shit up every time people talking about how they feel bad for certain people. They be like, oh, well, he make enough money, so he'll be fine. Like, bro, we understand he make enough money. He made enough money before he was trying to become a head coach. He made enough money before he went to Washington. He made enough money before he went to UCLA. It's not about that. It's a reason he keep trying. If he was satisfied, if it was just about money, he would have just stayed with Kansas City and kept eating that check until he finally came around to getting a better. He wants to become a head coach. He is clearly trying to maneuver this maze on how to get to that crown. And I feel for him. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. The NFL content returns next week. I fuck with you. I love you. Like, subscribe, share. Saint out.
Poor tackling.
What happened between you and Talib on the field early in the game?
I don't know. You go ask him because he done finished the game. Ice up, son. Ice up.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty ran track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home.